All right, Dimitri, you better be muted the whole time, man. I don't want to hear anything about KFC or anything. All right.
All right. No
I mean, that gave us some of our best content.
Yeah.
You can't be knocking that.
Okay. Is anybody else going to be joining, you think?
Let me see what we got. I mean, I think Katie was trying. I don't know where I just saw her a second ago. So I give it like a second more, and then we gotta.
Connor's joining right now.
That's
Yes.
right.
All right, the best water of all time.
Our water.
Yep.
The best
believe-
water of all
Yes.
time.
I believe that's Katie right there.
All right.
Joining as patron.
Okay.
Maybe. All right, are you recording? We starting?
If you are riggedy ready.
Hey, Katie.
Oh my God. Is that my
Hi, patron 34137.
Hi, patron.
Bubbly
It's
tea.
absolutely garbage.
No, it's.
God.
I mean, you're sponsored by Clorox, but that's cool. Like, I wish if we could get that Clorox sponsorship, it'd be great. Like, we're not turning anyone down here.
Eddie's joining us from
Garbage. Okay.
Mars.
Wow. I look so terrible. I don't know
Or-
why.
Pacific Northwest, right?
I am going to change computer things, maybe.
Okay. All right. Give her a second, and then we'll do the
Eddie,
thing.
how's the weather over there? Is it cold?
Oh, it's lovely.
Okay. Cold or
No, I have
snowy?
no, but there's
Okay.
still
Because it's
not-
in Mars, right? You're by Mars?
No. I'm still not fully finished with some
Okay.
renovations, so that's why it's the screen.
That's fine. No problem.
Yeah.
So I wanted to throw out real fast before we talk about the thing. We had two things that happened in the last time since we talked to each other. One was the Sony Direct, which I apologize in advance to everyone else out there, because this was a direct for me. It was the games I wanted. And I don't know if it was the games you wanted. Like, do I want to see more Deathloop? Yes. Did I want a DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake? Yes. Like, do I care about the dodgeball game? A little bit, I guess. Am I going to get Returnal from the Highland Park Public Library? You should put it on hold now? Yes. But yeah, otherwise, it kind of wasn't a whole lot there.
Yeah, it was next to nothing there in
Be dry.
kind of reality. Even that Yuffie DLC for Final Fantasy VII
Now stop right there. Now you
was
just-
illuminating me last night. If you get the Final Fantasy VII for the PS4, it is not coming. That DLC is not coming with it.
No. But you can still get it. You can pay them some real money cash, and it can be yours.
Mhm.
Listen, that game is beautiful. That game is 60 hours of fun. The least you can do is kick in $5 to get the best character in the series.
Oh, that's a whole conversation.
I mean, maybe I'd be willing to talk some Vincent, but I think this is the person I wanted, and they're giving it to me early. So I am material
not
thief
The
extraordinary.
character model looks good. But best in the well, that's a whole different subject. Let's put that over there. The dodgeball game, you're excited for that? It's just and Splatoon.
I mean, it's fine. Like, I'm not like excited, but it's okay. Like, I'm accepting they're going to put it on this system. But the thing I wanted to pick people's brains on, really though, was that Friday Pokemon stuff. The Pokemon, we now know what the future holds. Last time we talked about Pokemon, people had strong feelings. So I'm going to stop talking right now and let some people talk about the Pokemon Direct.
Okay, let me start. Part one. This is going to be a two-parter. I'll eat some crow. They did a nice job with that direct. I was amused. That was the culture I was here for. I was like, oh, a 1-to-1 Diamond and Pearl remake. fantastic. And an open world Pokemon, cool. Everyone's happy there. So I think it kind of made up for what I thought was a weak, like Nintendo Direct the week before. So I'm happy with it. I'm excited again. I'm like, oh, the Switch, you get to stay. You do not have to leave the home. That Post Malone concert, that was the part 2. That was the flop. What was that? Who thought Post Malone would be the choice? And especially for a Nintendo concert. And then it doesn't do like Pokemon songs. He's doing like his usual like routine of like, I'm going to do 3 songs. One of them's going to be Circles, which is mostly about like how the relationship was based on sex. I'm like, and this is Pokemon now. Those
Like
are my takes.
Direction. It's an interesting direction. Well, and then they did Hootie and the Blowfish cover, which as a Hootie and the Blowfish, I liked. And I think that came out, the thing was that song also came out 25 years ago. But that's some very tenuous connection right there. But the games themselves, I think, were the best case scenario. I'm here for it. Some people online, I know it was a conversation, especially with the open world game. But I mean, with the frame rate conundrum, like they do frame rates almost last when they do devs. So it's a great looking game. Like I have no complaints. I'm excited. Anybody else?
Well, I saw it. Looks pretty damn good. I gotta admit, it looks pretty damn good. But the Post Malone thing really kind of pissed me off because Post Malone has nothing to do with Pokemon. Because when I saw that, I'm like, Post Malone. I'm like, there's got to be some kind of a mistake, you know. So I hope that's like a one and done thing. Like, hopefully they're like, okay, we messed up. That'll never happen again. Hopefully.
It's like Pokemon has so much music too. I'm like, you could have reached into that Rolodex game Freak and spent a little cheddar to get like 8 different musical acts to do Pokemon music. And like, I'm like, why am I listening to a Post Malone and a very jaggedly done CGI version of Post Malone with like a Lugia flying in the background? I'm like, what is this? What am I looking at?
Sounds like it was a hey there fellow kids moment from the Pokemon company.
Oh my god! Does no one at Game Freak, is no one under the age of 60 working there anymore? Like, what was that?
Well, they say they have like a lineup because didn't they have Katy Perry at the beginning of the year?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so I wonder if they actually have a whole lineup of artists that we're not seeing yet.
I don't know. And I guess the other thing I'll do real quickly is anyone playing anything new and exciting? What? Michelle?
Michelle.
Yeah. I just started playing Valheim, which is Steam exclusive. Yeah. It's a it's a Viking inspired survival RPG game. It's really fun. I just read that they just got like their 5 million like downloads, which is amazing because they're a team of 6 people that made this game. It's beautiful. I was super lucky because most of my friends have been playing it before it came out in pre-release, so they built all the buildings already, so I didn't have to build any buildings. But pretty much you build everything. There's materials all over, so you like hunt for meat, you chop down trees for wood, you do stuff, you find metal, like, and everything kind of has a formula and you build it. It's super fun. There's a lot of crazy creatures. It's a huge world where there's different like monsters you can fight, and you create portals. So then at your base, you have portals that go different places. It's super fun. I'm really enjoying it. So if you got Steam, check it out. It's really cool. Maybe someday they'll do cross-platform because it's super fun. And you can play up to 10 people, which is really cool because not a lot of games you can play with like that many people at once. So it's super fun, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I've been hearing some chatter about that. People have really just echoed all of the sentiments that you shared. It seems fun.
when it comes to PS5, I will be there, ready and waiting. All right,
When it comes to Xbox, I will be there.
there you go. A mere console peasant. I have to wait my time.
Yeah.
So okay, so I want to share with
And-
our. What were you gonna say?
I'm playing Control,
Bless
and
you.
it's really good.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I will second
it's really
that it's
cool.
very, very good.
Awesome game.
My God,
To say this, all of you. I mean, I don't doubt that it's good, but it seems too much of a coincidence.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like
What?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Now you've confused me.
that. They just put it for free. Like last month, it was the PlayStation Game of the Month. Doesn't even matter if you don't have one. It is worth checking out. I cannot emphasize how good this game is. My only regret is not playing the. I guess if you go back to Alan Wake, you can kind of follow the tendrils of this overall arching story they're doing in Alan Wake and then Quantum Break, I think it is. Yeah, Quantum Break into Control.
Is it available on PC?
Yes.
Okay.
All
I'll
of
have
these
to check
things.
it out.
There you go. All right. So I want to share a thing because I said I was going to talk about graphics and like I just want to share this. This was the first game I ever played. This is Berserk for the Atari
Looks
2600.
like Pac-Man.
Nah, there wasn't even that much movement. Like you couldn't actually in this game hit the sides. Like if you tried to hit the sides, like you'd hear this like rattling sound, like like yeah. And so that's that. And this was my game of the year last year, Final Fantasy VII Remake. So which is say all this stuff has come a long way. Like I have been blessed to see it go from one to the other, right? I don't know. Let me start with something simple. Like, how important is how these games look to you guys? Like, how important is that thing?
Like,
I have a lot of thoughts about this, but I will let other people speak before me.
Me, since I'm a well-seasoned gamer, okay? Graphics are not it for me. Graphics are not number one. For me, it's going to be the gameplay and story. Like just think about like, well, the basics, man. Like you play something like Pac-Man, people still play it all over the place now. So it doesn't necessarily mean graphics, but I also think graphics do play a role, and I'm all for graphics, advancing and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know how much better it can get at this point, because I remember back in the day when I had PlayStation, like the original PlayStation came out, I'm like, oh my God, this looks so real. You know what I mean? Or like N64 stuff. I'm like, oh my God, you can actually see the person's eye or something like that, So, but now you'd actually see the eyelashes and sweat dripping from it. You know what I mean? So we've come a long way, but for graphics, for me, it's not the number one. It's gameplay, story, and it's just a whole thing. But graphics do play a role in certain games, I'd say. I'd like to hear what the younger generation, such as Dimitri, Alan, and Maddie, I think they're not going to agree with me.
I kind of will agree with you, but I do have a game that actually kind of takes the graphics to another level and has the gameplay and stuff. Destiny 2.
Hear
Um,
this.
So
he likes that one.
I've been playing with
I want to hear this. Yes.
I've been playing with my friends.
Very conversation.
I do have like 90 hours in the game so far, and I am on the new season that just started. I have to say, graphic-wise, it's really like absolutely amazing graphics in that game. Like just all the details just spot on. The game, I started like, I wasn't really going into my friend got me into it. She's like, oh, we gotta join this, you gotta start it. She's got like almost like 1,000 hours into the game. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how can you do that? But she's been playing that. She's like, I love the story mode, and then the graphics just kind of add into it. So it's like the game through, like you have like new quests that you have to get new things and collect stuff, and I'm just like, my brain is like, what are we talking about? And she's like, so she's guiding me through like all the steps, and I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be fun, like trying to figure this out. And then you're trying to see all the graphics they have made and how they advanced, and like you see how, you know, the first season they started, now they're on season 13, like how many upgrades they have done over the period of time to the game, and how advanced like the game through itself, adding the graphics into it, just really made it like really cool, really good. So I think Destiny 2 on that part has a combination of everything, like good gameplay, good story, and the graphics on one package for everybody. And it's free to play, which is just amazing. Unless you want to buy the season pass, then I mean that costs you some money. But if you just want to play, you know, you can just have fun with it. So that's my take on that.
I think like a good art direction can trump graphics every time. Like if you've got like a really consistently well done style, you can kind of get away with a little bit shoddier graphics. But I think it's also a question of history. Like it's like it was good at the time. You're never going to be able to compete with that game of always looking. I mean, a few games maybe can, like some hand-drawn art styles or stuff like that. But there are some games where it's like you have to have graphics, like not just even like a shooter like Destiny 2, but like think of Bayonetta. Like Bayonetta is a visual experience. You're strapping yourself in for a show at the Osprey, and you need only the edge of your seat because you're having so much like visual stimulation. But other games, it's kind of like, maybe not so much. So I think it really does depend on like what are we talking about game wise. It gets really granular sometimes.
So that gets to what I kind of wanted to talk about, because I'm a millennial, so I've had the experience of the kind of the like 64-bit was a big deal. And also, I mean, now we have these beautiful, fantastic games. But I don't know that graphics matter as much. I mean, it is a visual medium, so it does need to visually communicate things to you. But I don't know that graphics mean as much as beauty does. So that makes no sense. But let me explain what I mean. Like, Hades is a beautiful game. Graphically, it doesn't ask a lot of from your system, but it's beautiful. Like it's just cartoons. The cartoons maybe move their hands a little bit or blink, but it's a beautiful game. Some of the more popular games of the last couple of years, like Hollow Knight or Celeste, the hand-drawn animation of Cuphead was mentioned. I mean, those are beautiful games. They're not like graphically taxing, but they're beautiful, and they're all just cartoons. They're not going to push the envelope in some way. I really feel like it has to be beautiful visually, or at least be handled so well that it feels beautiful to play. Like you feel like you're there. Like everything that you do matters. Like the Dark Souls franchise, ugly game, beautifully ugly, but like the way that it works is because you feel like every button press is the matter of life and death. Though I might be
Probably because it is.
continue, sorry.
Sorry, never mind.
That's an interesting thing to bring up Dark Souls though. Like what about the hit boxes of the world where it's like when we get to that part in the future where it's like, are the graphics so advanced that like each little bullet spray is going to matter? And like we kind of get into that sci-fi kind of realm of stuff, but it's also kind of like you know, because as you go back in time, it's like you got a hitbox as wide as a barn in some games. Like you go back and play GoldenEye now, and it seems kind of almost archaic when you walk around into like a multiplayer map compared to some of the stuff you get now online, and even really basic shooters.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Especially this in the face of the Diamond and Pearl remakes, because everybody was complaining that they're going back to the TV stylizations, kind of like, okay, but they can do so much more with the gameplay when the art is not taking up all that RAM. I was listening to what is the podcast with Jason Schreier and Maddie Myers?
Triple Click.
Triple Click. I was listening to Triple Click, and they're recently replaying Final Fantasy VI. which, I mean, I have great nostalgia for Final Fantasy VI, but they were comparing just how much is in that game, how many scenes are only possible because the artwork is not taking up the majority of the download space. Like, there are options, or not options, but there are levels in that game that in a modern system, like, it would be too much work, too much stylization, too much detail to actually have in a game and then have it just on one disc. So, but I don't, I would go replay 6 now, and I don't think it would lose anything for not being as beautiful as the Final Fantasy VII remake. No?
Oh no. I would never downplay 6 like that. I would never, ever. I think that overall, like I think that the kind of gameplay trumps the visuals for me for the most part. But I also think that it's hard to go back to the farm once you've seen Paris. Like, it's not impossible. Like, you have to be an amazing game to hold, like, for me to go back and be like, all right, I guess I'll look at this. Like, if there's no nostalgic pull, if there's no like amazing gameplay, like, am I gonna go back to play Demon Sword for the NES? No. That's never going to happen. Am I going to go back and play Battle of Olympus? Am I going to go back and play what's that game? Monster Boy? No, Ghost House for the Sega Master System. No, I'm not going to do any of these things. Like, but so unless the gameplay is there. But I'm willing to like take a chance on something that comes out now that looks really good. I don't know if the game, like, I have no guarantee the gameplay is great.
Well, and in that vein, like, take, for example, The Last Guardian. It looked good. I wanted to play that game. I stopped maybe 2 hours in. The story wasn't catching because the graphics were so bad.
It can be hard to go backwards. It's like I tried when they re-released the first Fire Emblem on the eShop, like over the holidays. I went and downloaded it, and I was like, "Oh, fun! I love Fire Emblem." I'm like, "No, you love playing with sexy anime people and making them kiss and have babies. You don't like Fire Emblem when it's 8-bit pixels and nobody's really talking. You don't know what you like." That was the lesson I learned. I mean, I still bought the collector's edition because I really wanted that art book, but otherwise I was like, I'm not here for this. And normally I really like strategy RPGs too, but it was rough because that is really like, it's like learning to drive a car when you've been driving an automatic your whole life. I'm like, and the gears are grinding.
I also think there's something to be said, like, for putting so much money into the art style that you don't have time for the other stuff, like the romancing or the storyline. Like, they all have to mesh, and if they don't mesh, then what do you have? I mean, like, I love Stardew Valley. I've been playing Stardew Valley like crazy the last month. It is just 8-bit graphics, maybe 16-bit because you can get some good colors in there. But it is, graphically, it's garbage. I don't care. I love it because it has a weird storyline that you can only find by being friends with people and find out that people are alcoholics or depressed or hate their marriage or something. But you can still get sexy anime people that you can marry, and they have been doing that in text-based stuff. Like, I don't know necessarily that graphics can take you out of the game. Like Hatoful Boyfriend, the pigeon dating sim, that's a huge, magnificent game. And it just has pictures of pigeons. There is no graphics. It is just you are dating pigeons and finding out about the pigeon genocide of humanity. I don't know where I was going with that, but I had to say that.
I need to give that a try.
I will give my own example, that being Earthbound. If any of y'all played that, I think it's a 10 out of 10 game. It is very old and dated though, but it has a lot of it does a lot of nice things with the pixel art, and it does a lot of things with its music, even though it's only 16-bit. Genuinely, just I think another example of that. Oh well, the powers and everything. It's what you do with what you have, and I think that also applies to genuinely just a lot of SNES games.
So a thing I would posit, and you guys tell me how off I am with this. I wonder if like the video game industry kind of has an issue similar to the Hollywood blockbuster idea, whereas like the more you try to chase the like super coolest looking game, the more it kind of narrows the type of game you end up getting to be. Like, all right, cool, you made this game. At a certain point, then all right, something needs to blow up. Man, we're probably gonna need to be shooting something. And you're kind of, it like narrows down the scope because you can't, like the market is not there for the amount of investment it will take to make a game look a certain way, that it does not do the things that it is that most people are considered to want.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, like I'm thinking of all of the games that, went into crunch, which is a whole other topic about, the graphics design, but like all of those games, you're just off the top of my head, Death Stranding, your what was the one that had the full detail of the horse?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead Redemption, or like your Last of Us Part 2. Like those are all things blow up, things you get shot at, things X, Y, and Z. Even Bayonetta, like you said.
Well, you get into a AAA zone and there's certain tags that like a lot of times it feels like these games are made by an executive boardroom where they're like, well, we want open world, that needs to be on the box somewhere. We want character customization. We're going to want all those romance options.
Games as a
Maybe don't be
service.
too inclusive. Yeah, I mean, you get these kind of things where it's like, oh, these are the tags we're looking for. And it's kind of like, maybe we should go back to not letting algorithms make games for us. Like let's have a clear direction.
Yeah, to throw in the mix though, again, like Pokemon in 1996 or 1995 when it came out, like it wanted to do an RPG but not have, a fighting system. Well, it wanted to be different. And I would argue like the new Arceus game that's coming out, like graphically masterful. Have we seen it win Breath of the Wild? Yes, kind of. But still, I don't anticipate things blowing up. If somebody shoots at me in that game, I will be shocked. But it's going to be pretty visually stunning. It kind of is out of the box.
Yeah, that all makes sense.
So on this idea of crunch, because that was the other thing that another thing that came to mind for me, like, is it worth it? Like on top of everything else, like the amount of suffering, I mean, we've heard about the stuff with Cyberpunk 2040, the stuff with Last of Us 2.
Cyberpunk 2077. Yep, that's a
27.
high.
Yeah, oh, 2077. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't know. Like, at this point, I'd rather just have above average looking games. Like, I don't want to go back to Berserk, but I definitely either take, a longer amount of time with it and or like make it, crank down the visual fidelity from 10 to 7 and just make the making of these games much more reasonable.
I think that's kind of a...
Oop. Go ahead, Katie.
I will defer. Okay, so I think that's kind of a problem about the whole computer industry, though. Like the whole industry is kind of always searching for the newest, the coolest, the fastest, the best processing, the what's that self-fulfilling prophecy? The amount of memory in a system will double every 2 years, and people have been falling all over this themselves, going into crunch time, staying up 36 hours to try to fulfill that, because if you don't, then you have failed somehow as a computer company. Like, I don't know that that's so much of a video games thing as it is kind of a system-wide thing in the digital industries. Like, we have to have the shiniest and the coolest and the biggest, or else we have done nothing.
The benchmarks they set for themselves can be weird, I think. I also think that there's kind of a genuine lack of engine reuse going on, where I'm always like, if you spend all this money, and a lot of times that's what games they bring to like the shows and the tech floors is like, we made this really awesome engine so we could make this game for you. And it's like, cool. Why don't you turn around and make like 4 more games with that engine instead of killing yourselves to make a new one every time? Because that's the way it used to be. I mean, we got Majora's Mask in less than a year after Ocarina came out, because they literally were like, hey, we got a box of assets, we got to work an engine, let's get creative. And that's one of the most beloved Zelda titles.
Well, and they almost did it when they were building the one that the Final Fantasy VII reboots on and Kingdom Hearts 3. But did they use that for anything else?
So I would say we've seen the worst case scenario of this, though, with EA and their dedication to Frostbite and Dragon Age Inquisition and trying to fit like the Battlefield engine into like an RPG, and that was rough. Like, I think part of it reuse engines, part of it give Epic their money. Just give it to them and call it a day. Unreal. Everyone knows how to use it. Everyone knows how to use this thing. Give them their cash and then just go home.
Yeah, and I don't want to negate the worth in the brilliance that these developers have put into these games. But I'd rather that they slept and saw their families.
Yeah.
Like, I think we kind of all, for the most part, agreed that, like, if we're rating graphics versus storyline, like, we're here for the storyline. The graphics are a very big plus. Like, it doesn't need to be a 10 out of 10. It can be like an 8. It can be like a 7. You have the content there. Will I miss the rope mechanics in The Last of Us 2? Yeah, that was amazing. But you can work around that.
I was gonna say, just look at the Wii. The Wii, in general, it based it on that fact. Like, it's not about graphics; it's more about innovation and gameplay and all that stuff. I never thought it'd sell, I think, over 100 million units, but they were onto something. Hey, Dimitri, I wanted to get your opinion on this too. Let's hear it. Let's hear this.
Me? All right. No, I'm big on gameplay. Like, that's the reason I started playing video games. I just enjoy having fun, and that's really all it is. Although I think I agree with Will. I think we've been spoiled, like with gameplay, with graphics, to the point where sometimes like it's just hard to go back. So I don't know. And Maddie, I heard you say Destiny 2. I was big on Destiny 1. I tried Destiny 2. I didn't like it. I came back to it for Beyond Light, and then I stopped playing it again. But the gameplay is pretty good. I think they improved it. So.
Were the graphics not good for you? Is that what you're?
No, the graphics are awesome, but
Okay,
sometimes like the game gets repetitive, and that's all it is.
I have found that too. There's a lot of with the new season, the new quest. It's just a lot of repetitive. It's like you literally have to go. You finish one quest, you go something else, and then you have to go back to the same thing. And I'm just like, but I just did that. Like, why am I doing this again? But that's just.
It's cool that they're updating it though. Like it's still fun. Like I'll give them that. They're trying. Yeah.
But I think it's kind of like if you go back, like, Grand Theft Auto, you go back to that Grand Theft Auto 3, you have that nostalgia of, that from the top view, looking at the player just, walking down the road. And then you go to like Grand Theft Auto Vice City, where it's like those first graphics, and then after the story mode. And you go to San Andreas, it gets better. And then you go to Grand Theft Auto 4, even better, and then Grand Theft Auto 5. And it's like, it just booms with that online. Did you know there's GTA Online 4 actually? Like GTA 4 had online edition too.
I
Like
think
you were
so.
able, like you know how GTA Online has the thing for GTA 5. There was GTA Online for GTA 4 as well, and it was on the Xbox and PlayStation and PC as well. But I feel like a lot of times graphics are so hit when it comes to PC players, because they want the graphics, because they want to push the rigs to the maximum limits, because they have, consoles have different graphics versus the PC, because PC is all about the graphical. Like that's where PC comes in. Like it's supposed to be graphics. You're supposed to have the most visual enjoyment from the game. And when it comes to consoles, you have that controller that I look at it, I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? This is like black magic to me. Like I prefer keyboard and mouse. Like I just cannot do controller for the hell of me. Like I'm just like, what the hell is this? What am I holding? I just need a full size keyboard with a mouse and I'm happy. So I'm just stuck in that generation of keyboard and mouse when it comes to games. And I'll be like, why don't you control? I'm like, did that when I played GTA. I was driving on walls. I'm good. I'm not gonna do that. So, but graphics for PC is where it is at. That's why I feel like a lot of games go into the graphics more, because they want to capture those people who play on PC more versus on consoles. And that's what I think is a lot of stuff that just hits it off with PC players, because they want the best graphics in their game.
I find that interesting because the whole appeal of the PS5 is that it's supposed to have zero loading screens and do everything super fast, and be more graphically robust than a PC experience. Plus, do we have a game like Crysis 2 where it's specifically designed to break your system unless you have the best system? That's probably a very dated reference, but I remember everybody comparing themselves and saying, oh, Crysis 2 actually works on our things.
I think the closest we have right now, weirdly enough, maybe like Microsoft Flight Simulator, like, because it just takes a lot to like render like real time, real world like conditions. Like I think that may be it. I'm not as well versed in the PC world as I could be, but
I
A
would
good
say
common one would
Cyberpunk.
be Cyberpunk.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk is so graphically intensive. Like, if you do not have an RTX 2060 and above, you're running into issues.
I guess that was worth not paying people.
my thing is there's so many like issues like with the game running. It's like I would hate to have invested all of my money and my effort into a computer that could run this game, and then I don't know, is it my computer that's not running the game? Is it one of the 800 glitches in this game? Like my tower may go out a window. It may go out a window.
I mean,
You did build your system?
What was that?
Dimitri, didn't you just build your system?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I built. I built my rig here. It's I don't know. I'm still new to this stuff, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So yeah, it's working fine. I'm running into no issues. So I don't know. I'm not even doing heavy gaming. I've just been doing a lot of like Phasma, a lot of like co-op games, and maybe like Call of Duty here and there, and that's it. So
You probably just look at email.
at what?
Just look at email.
Email? Yeah, I built this thing just for my email and ask about it.
I just just go to Yahoo.
I just go to Yahoo. And,
If you don't mind, Dimitri,
That's a key.
if you don't mind, Dimitri, I was wondering if you could share with us, because there's one part of your computer that you were missing, and you had to do some things.
Yeah. So I'll share you my experience on how I got my 3080 graphics card. I found a guy on OfferUp. He was selling it for 1,000, and I asked for 900, and he's like I don't know if I can do 900, and I was like well, if you can't do 900, it's not a big deal. I'll just, I'll find somewhere else, whatever. And he's like, all right, I'll do 950. And they're like retailing now for like 800, 850. So I met this guy at a police station. He was late, super late. And that's how I was able to get my 3080. I told myself I'd dedicate a whole day if it took, because like these things you cannot find them. But that is my experience, and it I don't know. That day was rough, but I'm loving it right now. I got no complaints.
What was this guy's name?
Shoot, what was his name? I think I told you. Do you remember?
I think it was Progress.
Progress, yeah. And he called me when he got to the police station to meet up. He called me, and I was confused because I didn't recognize the number, so I answered it. I'm like, hello? He's like, hi, this is Progress. And I was like, what
Progress sounds like.
Man,
Wait.
try to do a solid and you're putting him on blast like this? Like, wow.
No.
To be fair, he is a scalper. Like, let's not defend the dumbass name.
Okay. I look, I confronted him. I asked him, I'm like, how'd you get the 3080? He's like, I'm just on top of it. And I'm like, really? He's like, I'm like, why did you want to sell it? He's like, I was able to grab a founder's edition, and he didn't want his 3080, the one that he had got. So
I'm waiting for the 3080 Ti to come out, because that's going to be a nice upgrade from my RTX 2060. Oh, did you go Intel or AMD?
I went
your
Intel.
CPU.
I went Intel. I went big. Like I went i9 10th gen. Should I have gone? Everybody's telling me AMD. It's hard to whatever.
Go big or go home.
I know. I overkill for sure, but it is what it is. Maddie, what are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
I AMD all the way. I had an Intel, and AMD just won me over with their 8-core. I have a Ryzen 7 3700X that I just upgraded a couple months ago from a Ryzen 7 1700X. So I went up 2 generations because I couldn't find anywhere the 5700X, which I wanted so badly, because they're so hard to come by now, the 5700X, because everybody just they're just sold out everywhere. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll go with the 3700. I did upgrade my board to a X570 that can run a 5th gen Ryzen, so I can always upgrade the CPU at a later time. But I think my next one is going to be my GPU, because I have a 6 GB RTX 2060. So I want to get up the RTX 3080 Ti, because I think that would just be like a sweet spot for the free monitor setup I have right now. And that just calls it a day. But I'm gonna be lacking with the monitors, because I do not have the, that high refresh rate of 140 or 240 hertz a second. I'm stuck at that 60 hertz a second refresh rate, but I don't really care about the refresh rate. I'm fine with the ones I have. So
Yeah, it is what it is, and yeah, that sucks. I hope you find your parts quick, because the computer parts right now are just like they're hard to come by.
Oh, the 3080 Ti is not even out yet. It's supposed to come out. Yeah, that's the one I'm waiting for. It's supposed to come out like late March, early April, but that's what I would like. That's one thing I'm going with, the 3080 Ti.
Did you pre-order, or how are you getting it or going about it?
I cannot even pre-order yet, so I'm gonna wait till it shows up on the side. Just go buy.
You might want to find a guy. His name is Progress, man.
You might want to hit up my guy.
I'm just saying, like,
Give
you
you a
guys are
good
talking
deal.
about hating this dude.
Yeah.
Like, he succeeded in his goal. Like,
Yeah.
he got someone to
Right.
buy this thing.
Progress.
He was no, look, he gave me a good price, and he helped me out. So I'm not gonna say anything. That's it. That's it.
So I kind of wanted to finish off here with something a little fun. I saw that meme online about like the 4 things and one of them has to go. So I'm gonna throw them out to you guys, and you tell me what you think. We'll start with the first one I saw. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, Wind Waker. One has to go. Which one are you getting rid of?
Oh.
I'm the wrong dead ass.
What was the second one? Breath of the Wild.
Link to the Past?
To the Past, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker. You got to get rid of one.
Wind Waker.
I don't know, man.
Or
That's
A Link to the Past,
tough one.
actually. I like Wind Waker.
Yeah. Alan, you can't cop out, man. You got to have an opinion. No, you can't. You're
I don't
hanging
play.
on. he
I
just
don't
told
play
you,
Zelda.
You're hanging on a cliff, man. Just pick one.
I cannot give a subtle decision because I never played those games. So I'm out of this one.
I guess Link to the Past, man. I don't know. That's a tough one, man. It's like,
If we get rid of it, is it going to erase like the history of what things are built off of, or like?
yeah. Am I never going to be able to play it again?
I'm in my DeLorean.
Okay.
I'm ready to go to 88. I'm stealing them all. I'm putting them in the back. You're never seeing it again.
That's a tough call, man.
And you gotta keep Link to the Past because that leads to A Link Between Worlds, which is just fantastic. But you can't get rid of Wind Waker because that has all the cute little chibis.
Yeah, Wind Waker's good.
I mean, I don't know that I would go for good because I did just replay it recently. It is fine, but the art style is beautiful. And I feel like we'd miss out on so much 3D cel shaded stuff without it.
I'm sending Link to the Past to the pasture. I'm sorry. Like, it's rough for me. Like, the other three have too much charm for me to like.
Yeah.
Really, my ideal option would be put in Twilight Princess so I can kick it to the curb. Unfortunately, that's not there. Like, it's rough. But I got another one. Go ahead.
That's a really weird way to pronounce Skyward Sword.
Oh.
I've never heard it phrased that way. Like, huh.
Skyward Sword sets the foundation that gets us Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild. So I'm not.
I would say that A Link to the Past sets the foundation for a lot of the other things. Like,
wait. Skyward Sword sets that's like saying that you pull out cookies after being in the minute for 2 ovens sets the foundation for getting actually fully baked cookies. In what universe?
The climbing. You saw what he said. You saw what I did. The climbing mechanic, the cooking mechanic. They're there. They just got expanded. Okay.
All right. Sorry. I was just checking. We're still in the universe we've always been in. Okay. No, we're good.
That was extremely sassy, and I agree.
All right.
This one.
Okay.
A Link to the Worlds or Wind Waker.
I can't. Wind Waker, it's got so much heart. Even though that last 2 hours drags.
I never played it. It lost me with finding everything in the ocean, and I was like, done.
The update kind of takes care of that, though. Like, if it's the HD port to the Wii U, that one was crisp.
That one's great.
Yeah, it's a good one. Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time are kind of the same game, though, aren't they? Like, one's the 2D equivalent of the other one. Like, the music's really the same. The map hits are kind of the same. I would get rid of Link to the maybe.
Do you see? Like, that's what I love.
If we get rid of Ocarina of Time, but keep Majora's Mask,
we can't.
Well, Majora's Mask was originally going to be like a side quest, and then they kind of spun it into their own thing.
But so much of Majora's Mask is predicated on the fact that you have already experienced Ocarina of Time.
No, you have to keep Ocarina of Time. Dampy the Gravekeeper was a sex symbol for people like me.
And a symbol of ruined dreams everywhere.
That's right. That was what it meant to grow up, and it made me feel okay about turning into a potato as I aged.
Listen, he is a mascot. You very much.
All right.
Let's move on.
I got another one. Maybe
Yeah.
can include some more people. All right. Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Destiny.
Oh, come on.
One of them got to go.
All of them.
Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and what?
Destiny.
I genuinely don't even know. All right, so
Battlefield.
I have to go with keeping Halo personally, because I think that just sets so much of the precedent that like every other single first-person shooter nowadays is based on, with limited exceptions.
And
like,
then and at the end of that game, the alien and Master Chief kiss if you beat it on the really hard mode.
Remember that.
Okay.
Master Chief takes off his helmet, and underneath is another helmet. It's perfect.
I gotta go Battlefield, man.
Battlefield can go.
It's a hard choice,
I-
I guess. I guess between either Call of Duty or Battlefield, because they kind of had the same ground for a while.
I'm gonna have that your mom moment of being like, isn't everything a Nintendo? I don't know the difference between Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Yes.
I guess I phrase it like this: Call of Duty tends to be focused on like a smaller environment, where Battlefield tends to be a battlefield.
Yeah.
I think Battlefield for me
I
can
think
go.
I'm gonna have to go with yeah, bye Battlefield.
I think you're
Well, I'm gonna change it up, and I'm gonna say bye Call of Duty.
I'm gonna be that person out of respect. I mean, I do respect all of the people here tonight, and I respect the time you spend. But if I got to get rid of one of these games,
come on.
Destiny. You
Come
know
on.
what?
No.
You're done. You're
Nope.
gone. Like to save those three, I would get rid of Destiny. Like nothing against Destiny, but like
The lesser of four evils is what you're going with.
yeah, it just sorry. There's too much history and respect for the other three that I just Destiny has to go.
Is Battlefield even relevant?
I don't even I can't even remember the last Battlefield game. All right,
But you
well,
remember Destiny.
I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing. I see how you're trying to say it.
Was the last one Battlefield Hardline or 4? I think it might have been 4. Well, let me check.
The last Battlefield was in 2018, Battlefield 5.
Battlefield 5, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Battlefield 5, yeah.
Also, Battlefield already lost this.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
taken itself out of the running.
Okay. Well, sorry, Battlefield. All right. I got one here. Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, Story of Seasons, Harvest Moon.
Wait, aren't now the last two are the same thing? This is a trick. This
That
is a
was-
trick question.
Is it all Harvest Moons? Because the original ones were good. Or is it the latest Harvest Moons? Because those can go.
I mean,
Aren't the latest ones, aren't Story of Seasons just the remakes of the Harvest Moon? Because I just played the Pioneer Town Story of Seasons, and that's Harvest Moon from the PS1, just upscaled. Like they're the same thing, right? Am I wrong? I don't know. No, I'm legitimately asking. I thought I was playing a remake.
Let me see this.
Yeah, those of you with computers in front of you.
What are we looking for?
Yeah, it is. Oh, wait. This first game not under the
Like I know which one I would pick between the two to keep, but I just
I'm staying out of this one because
Yes, it's
I only know of one game.
Wikipedia, who we know is never wrong,
Right.
says Story of Seasons, formerly known as Harvest Moon.
All right, then let's boot Story of Seasons, and then Harvest Moon, Stardew, and
Animal Crossing?
yes, Animal Crossing. One's got to go.
Animal Crossing. I said it.
That is a dangerous take, and I respect that you made it.
I New Horizons got me through lockdown.
I don't know. I feel like New Leaf was just the better game, though. I don't know why they stagnated with New Horizons. Why did you have to do this to me, Nintendo?
Listen, any game that shames me for not playing on a consistent basis,
Yeah.
I can't. I can't.
Well,
Gus,
why haven't you been playing? What's going on?
I don't know, Tom.
Sarah, you really have no excuse. I mean,
There's
look
no
at you.
excuse. Pick it up and
Yeah.
play.
Dare you all come at me like this?
I don't hate Animal Crossings. It would
I'm
be the
not
one
doing
I'd
that.
boot,
Don't
though,
blame
too.
me.
I would boot Animal Crossings. It reminds me of talking to like actual children because you'll go in there after you kind of get everything set up just right, and then they'll come up to you and they'll be like, "I got a shirt," and you're like, "Great." And this is the rest of eternity for you, isn't it? Okay. Bye.
I don't know. I feel like they've made so many strides in New Horizons. Like, you can fish, you can dive for things, you can visit other people's places and just move all of their stuff if you feel like it, and you're good enough friends. I mean,
I can't do that. Buzz would literally kill me.
I mean, you can come, but like, just don't touch anything. It's same rules of when you come to my house in real life apply. Like, don't touch my stuff because you're
Don't touch
gross.
it.
and they came up with a fix for that, which is you visit somebody's dream island, which is not their real island, so you can't actually move things, but you can just admire it.
I'd say I like multiplayer Stardew better though, because like that's kind of the same feel, but I'm actually having kind of fun like doing like goofy farm stuff with my friend. I don't know if I had to like. I mean, obviously we get to keep all these at the end of the day, but if I had to pick one, I'd be like, I guess I'll take Stardew.
All right, I got one more. Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey.
Galaxy.
Add 3D Land there too. I'll keep that because I actually played that one. I haven't played the other ones yet. I own them all.
Yeah, I'm kicking
A tough one.
to the curb.
Which
one?
one to the curb?
Galaxy. I'm agreeing with you.
Don't the first three disappear at the end of the month if you don't buy it?
Yes.
Like buy it now, or wait until they release it 2 systems from now.
Wow.
That's a tough one, man. I guess I have to go with Sunshine, man.
I was thinking Sunshine too. Like
I don't want to do it, but you're putting me in this position. I don't want to, but
I don't mean to be a monster, but
I
sometimes.
know you're a monster at this point.
Okay,
I guess
you'd
it's
rather
gotta-
have course clear, super linear Galaxy instead of cool exploratory, things change all the time, Sunshine.
The Galaxy's got that big B lady.
I'm a big fan of Galaxy. That's a go.
Yeah, but Buzz, Galaxy probably doesn't have Lady Dimitrescu.
Oh, Lady Deborah. My God. At the end of doesn't it come? It comes out what, in April? Is that the date
May.
for May? Oh, what a month
It's
that's
available
gonna
for
be.
pre-order now.
What a month that's gonna be. Oh, Connor, as if I haven't already ordered it. As if I haven't been on the Etsy shop every day going, do you make a mug? Do you make a t-shirt? A body pillow? We
T-shirt.
talked about this.
Body
Oh
pillow.
God. It
That
all
10
comes back-
foot long body pillow. Where can I get one?
I'm gonna pre-order in the next 2 days. Heck, I got pre-ordered Halo Infinite, and they don't even have a set date for that.
right after Metroid Prime 3.
And Bayonetta 3 too.
Yeah. Oh, I got one final one here. Super Mario Brothers, Sonic, Pac-Man, Legend of Zelda.
Oh, now you're a monster. I
No,
can't
I'm
do
not.
this.
I think I made this one pretty easy.
Super
You know
Mario.
what?
Super
Pac-Man.
Mario Brothers.
Wait, what?
Wait, who's holding on to Pac-Man?
Yeah,
No, I said
Pac-Man's got to go.
Pac-Man away. Kick it to the curb.
Pac-Man.
I
This
hate to
is-
be the guy, but Legend of Zelda for me.
I literally made this so easy, guys. He's right there with
Super
his
Mario.
red shoes and
Ow.
his Sonic's
There.
done.
I gotta kick Super Mario.
Without Sonic, we would not have everybody's original character, Blank the Hedgehog, which is an entire section of the internet, which is just Sonic original characters.
Once you get outside of Green Hill Zone, does that game matter? Does that game matter?
Dare you?
I mean, no, you can't. Sonic's so good. Sonic's so bad at being good. He's lovable. How you're telling me you're gonna take a partially eaten pizza that eats dots and fruit over Sonic T Hedgehog? No, you've lost your mind.
Hour?
COVID has
I'm
officially
keeping
impacted you
Sonic.
negatively. And we need to learn a lesson here. It would be Pac-Man. Get him out of here. What? So we can save the movie Pixels? Ah!
Oh my.
You did not just bring up movies as a defense for Sonic. You did not. No, you did not
Hey, the
open
Sonic
that door.
movie was good.
He shows up in Wreck-It Ralph. That was a good cameo. He had that great Saturday AM cartoon. That
Hey,
was a
That live
good
action movie was
cartoon.
good.
Pac-Man had
That
a
live
quality
action movie.
cartoon in the 80s that I remember when I was 2. Like it was great.
You
That
got
live action
Pac-Man
movie was
fever. That's what this
Pac-Man
is.
walked so everybody else could run.
That live action movie was actually pretty good.
Wait. Oh wait, there was a Sonic movie, wasn't
Yeah,
There
see?
There
was.
was
That
yes,
wasn't the
with
place
Jim
to go.
Carrey
That's
as
why I'm like,
as Robotnik.
I swear to God, I just had like the Mandela effect. I completely forgot that even happened.
you're talking about one of the top grossing movies of 2020, Sonic the Hedgehog?
Are you talking about Sonic 1 or Sonic 2? The one before it got updated because the fans were all trolling
Because
the
it was body horror.
I wanted to see fleshy Sonic in action.
No.
I
He
wanted
just-
to see his gross little human hands touching things and his weird gum line. It's the kind of thing I would have liked. That should have been an option. If you buy the Blu-ray, you also get like Eldritch Horror Sonic, and you could watch it the way it was meant.
No. No.
Well,
That'd be
then
like
we can
watching
really-
Cats all over again.
And
I
this
was
is
just-
the character you want to save. Okay. All right.
Sonic
That'd be
is
like
not
watching.
for the things that creators do with him.
Which
No.
is,
Also,
No,
Sonic is
That would
just
be.
is the story of wasted potential, and we can't talk about how terrible it is that every Sonic thing has been wasted, or like all of their potential has been like just going downhill, or they made him kiss a human woman in one of the later games. Because he's such a train wreck, you need to keep Sonic. Because you need a train wreck to gape at.
Buzz.
I
That's
That idea would. Buzz. That idea of watching Sonic 1.0 with that horrible body horror would be like akin to watching the movie Cats on a 24-hour endless loop. No.
I
Just
mean,
no.
it's not as bad as Cats.
Just
You
no.
know, I just want to be very disturbed when I watch a cartoon character in real life. I want to
I
feel
mean,
weird.
that would be the level of disturbing.
And on that note,
oh,
it is
I-
04.
it is. This was great. We'll see you guys, everyone, in 2 weeks. We're doing it again I think we're going back to our 7:30, 8:30, because now I don't have to rush out of this building now. So, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
All right, guys.
Okay.
For the horror.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah.